All right, hello and welcome everyone. It's game number 3. Series is tied up now. Pokerface with 1, MVP.Hot6 with 1, and we see some similar heroes again in game number 3. The draft's not diversifying too much yet, and if you are just joining us, it's me, Helium. With me again, it's going to be Blaze. How are you doing? Are you looking forward to seeing Razor, Ogre, and Ember, and who knows what they'll pair with it again?
Actually, I really am. The fact that it's going to be in different hands really seals the deal for me on that one. Like, if it was the same players playing the same heroes, it would be a little repetitive, a little annoying. But seeing what Team Pokerface can do on the other side there, seeing what they can accomplish with the Razor and Ogre in their hands as kind of denial picks, then Hot Six obviously picking up the Ember for themselves. Yeah, I think it'll be fun to see. A lot of ET Ogre, a decent amount of Razor Ember Spirit. Yeah, I guess it's just the meta game that's evolved between these two teams, valuing these heroes very highly, and I mean there's some pretty cool combos. Again, I don't feel the Ember Elder combo is being utilized to its full effectiveness. You talk about spell combos, I talk about itemization, but no matter the case, we didn't really feel it in that last game. The Ember Spirit really didn't seem like that much of a factor. It was really on the back of his allies, the Doom and the Bat. They're even that close to taking the game, and actually obviously did seal it out. So. Yeah, I think that it'll be pretty fun to see these in play. Razor Ogre is a great opener because it's a good mix of magical and physical damage and provides some strength at all stages of the game.
Yeah, like you said, switching hands now with the heroes, and we didn't really see the combo we wanted from Ember and Elder. I wonder what we'll see now. It's Jubei that's been the mid player. He's played Razor quite a bit already today, and now he'll switch it over more than likely to the Ember Spirit unless they want to put it safe. Elder Titan, Dubu or Nuts. We'll have to see who wants to take it, or maybe they'll put it in the offlane position and allow Sunbi to grab it up. But we're still are looking for that Raji. I've been saying Raji hero. Throughout this draft, we'll have that Skywrath banned out, just banning away the heroes that have already been played along with those teams. So they don't want to go for the Ogre and the Skywrath together on Pokerface.
Yeah, so much Omni Knight this series, man. But
Yeah, and Omni Knight is just there for the hero's good, man.
he is a
Not
good
as
hero.
good, but
Like the highest win rate, competitive, even with the nerfs.
does he? I thought Necro is doing pretty good these days
Well,
with
that's
like.
pubs. Pubs, he's one of the highest, but right as far as competitive, Omni Knight's he's where it's at. But I think that like is influenced pretty heavily by like Captain's Draft. He's a much better hero to pick up in that situation. There's less counters to him, and in general, like it really comes down to when you pick him up. If your opponent is able to draft against him well enough, because I mean, there's a lot of ways to use Omni Knight effectively, but there's also a lot of ways to make him absolutely useless. So in this case, they're not gonna want to worry about drafting against him. They just take him off the board alongside the faces or the Wisp for them, and obviously the Team Pokerface will be taking out Fated Void and Skywrath. So none of that. They're just gonna be looking for kind of hard, just brute force, not necessarily 5-man Dota because the Storm Spirit likes to go for pickoffs, but essentially just go for a kill on the Ember Spirit and a push, a kill on the Ember Spirit and a push. Rinse and repeat throughout this entire game, and you'll have every outer tier tower by 25 minutes. So, I mean, it really just comes down to execution, but Razor has a lot of potential here to just kind of be the anchor that they build their team fight around with the mechanism pickup. And the Storm Spirit is that one guy that you just get the Orchid up, and suddenly Ember Spirit is a dead man walking. Like, he can't leave his tower range. And honestly, I think at this point, they need to pick up something defensive. They need, like, a Shadow Demon to defensively disrupt. They need an Abaddon to dispel something like the Orchid debuff on the Ember Spirit. They need some way of keeping Ember Spirit alive, because by himself, up against a Storm Spirit with even a little bit of momentum, they're going to have a really rough game.
Yeah, I mean, it can go the other way around, though. If MVP sort of fills in the gaps of their team and maybe they get up an Orchid, then, I mean, really all of the Spirit heroes, although Earth Spirit, thank God, is not in Captain's mode yet, they all suffer if, like, the enemy team picks up an Orchid or a Sheepstick or even just Strong Disable. But here's a defensive hero. The only thing I don't like about these two defensive heroes, the Elder Titan and the Kunkka, it's too slow. Like, Storm Spirit could zip in, get the kill, and zip out by the time, like, the Echo Stomp goes down.
Yeah, it comes with risks, but if you're really good with the Kunkka, it still should be you should be able to diffuse those situations pretty well. And I think the more important thing is prevent any follow up. Like Stormspear can initiate, but it's unlikely unless he's just absolutely balling out of control for him to go for 100-0 on anybody. He's either going to have to find Ember at a like 50% HP, or he's going to have some backup with a blink follow up. But Kunkka can kind of make that more difficult for them. He has obviously a lot of stuns to provide, and also the ghost ship mitigating factor can't be ignored. I mean, you get the 50% Kunkka's Rum debuff, and you'll keep the what is usually a hero that dies almost instantly in a fight if it gets picked, and suddenly he'll be able to tank through a lot of it. So combining that with Flame Guard, with the potential to just sleight of fist all around stuff, I think Kunkka's a pretty strong pick. Not as directly reactive as I'd like, but he definitely brings a lot to the table.
Yeah, there's some weird synergy as well between Kunkka and Ember Spirit. Like Ember Spirit's that one hero that can TP back to base and then always just
Yeah.
come back again in the lane on the remnants. Well, Kunkka can do the same thing to either himself or anyone else on the team with the X marks. So there might be a lot of mobility around the map and just the ability to defend towers. Like Kunkka gets low, he X's himself, goes back to base, is back to the team fight for free. Ember Spirit can do the same. So maybe a lot of sustain if it happens around structures. Maybe I'm just going too avant-garde on the strategies here, but
No, I mean,
I
you're
feel
looking
like
at
that's why
mobility.
they kind of want the Kunkka. And now they go for the Tinker as well. So this is 3 heroes that can just get the fountain and get back into the fight. And that could be aggravating. However, you might not be regenning anything, except for mana, of course, because Ancient Apparition was that 4th pick here for Team Pokerface.
Yeah, it's just kind of the regen strat. Go in and out of the fight very frequently. Just kind of dance around it a lot. And actually, Tinker can BOTs to Elder Titan's Astral Spirit too. So
Yeah.
really good for initiating at a long range, causing some real levels of grief. If you get in range for X mark, you essentially have a kill with this combo of heroes, even more directly than what Storm Spirit can bring. And it's interesting because although Ancient Apparition can prevent a lot of that restoration, I would consider Ember Spirit and Kunkka to both be soft counters to this Ancient Apparition. The Flame Guard is one of the few abilities that, you can be afflicted by the Ice Blast and still not go down because you're going to be negating that damage for yourself. And then Kunkka, team-wide, reduces damage for an extended period of time. For the duration of 10 seconds, they're going to be taking half damage. And with Ancient Apparition's ulti only going up to 10 at level 16, until he gets the Aghanim Scepter up, I really feel that Kunkka is going to be stopping a lot of shatters that would otherwise occur.
Yeah, good point. And I feel like Team Pokerface, their last heroes, it's got to be blue, right? Like they've got
Obviously.
they're matching so well right now. They can't pick up the Wisp, which is unfortunate. I don't know if they'd really want it, but it would fit perfectly with everybody else. I'm sure there's a couple more options. I'm surprised no one plays Ricky. That hero seems so good to me right now, but
No.
I don't know.
Anybody who's good, anybody who's played against it significantly enough.
Yeah,
manage.
I mean, it's definitely not hard to stop in the competitive sense. So it's just like with the rubber band gold, even if you start falling behind, like Ricky gets an ultra kill one fight, suddenly like Abyssal Blade, and then you're unstoppable. I don't know.
The problem is you need an ultra kill to make that happen.
Yeah, it's true. It doesn't really flash farm too well.
Clockwork going with the red, just
Yeah,
kind
it
of the
doesn't
standout
match.
hero here. He wants to be charging in forward, the colors of victory here, and he'll be followed up by the Blues brothers. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, right now we have so much a chain of initiation. Like you go in with the hook shot, with the ball lightning, and with the ice blast, and that's a kill on anybody. It's great for anti-Tinker play. Like they get a good ward up, and Tinker doesn't have anywhere to farm. He blinks into trees, he gets hooked. He gets ball lightninged. They have clear vision with remnants. They have just so many great things. So I honestly think that Tinker's life is a nightmare, and Ember Spirits isn't that much better if the Storm gets off his feet. But the question I have to you is, would you put the Razor in the mid or the Storm Spirit?
I think I gotta put Storm Spirit in the middle lane. I don't know. It depends how much they babysit him in the safe lane. Like as long as he can get his levels very very quickly, I feel like the levels are almost like they're the most important thing to get to level 6 and just be able to be around the map and not get ganked before your Orchid timing is the next most important thing. Like try to get your Orchid between 15 and 18. I don't know. JYU picks up the Razor, so I think it goes mid, but I would like to see Storm Spirit there. MP's done some weird things already. Like he got the 1v1 lane on the Doom. I don't think he's gonna
Sure.
be able to find himself a 1v1 lane this time.
Yeah, one thing I do like about putting the Razor mid though is, of course, you're going to be able to drain a lot of damage from either the Ember or the Kunkka, and I think that's very important to controlling that lane. If you static link somebody effectively, then Ember and Kunkka really don't have great CS tools. They're really all about the Tidebringer and with the right clicks raw. I mean, the Flame Guard's okay for pushing out the wave, but it isn't going to be like controlling the lane very effectively. And I think the Storm Spirit's itemization is actually still a priority here, at least for the first item. After that, Razor probably wants to get 2 or 3 pickups, and Storm can kind of do whatever. But he's actually going for a Soul Ring Rush, which would imply to me maybe even a very early Bloodstone. So, as you said, MP likes to take things unconventionally, and it looks like he's going to be making his way towards the enemy jungle alongside his teammates with that recipe in hand. So, side shop, that you don't pick up the recipe if you're not going to be near a side shop. He is going to be running on the safe lane or maybe even an aggressive one.
Yeah, I mean, we already saw, I guess it was MVP that did it. Like, they dodged with the sniper to go to the off lane. Maybe we see something out of the ordinary. Febby, so far, for the 2 games we've seen of Pokerface, has been like the solo offlaner, so I don't think anyone's going to stay here with him. It's just everyone looking for that intel early on. We've got 4885 leading the charge, but I don't think he's going to be able to get close enough to anybody. Hasn't even skilled up a spell. Will hold it. Ignite's got the longer range, but it is also just a slow. So they might not be able to catch anyone. Unless the wraparound from Clockwork, he's got the cogs. He's like legitimately going to have to catch somebody in the cogs, and it's just not going to happen.
No, not so much. I mean, the range from Ogre and the extended disable is actually really good, but in the end, they're just posturing, they're just warding, and presumably that's going to get sentryed out. But if we look at the inventories, we actually see no sentry wards up for Hot6, and yeah, they're just focusing on boots first, on both the Tinker and the Bane. Along with that, the Elder Titan actually goes for a Stout Shield here, and is being played by Sunbee, so despite what we've been seeing a lot recently, he's actually going to be taking the Elder Titan as a core hero to the off lane, and that's going to leave the Kunkka as the roaming support alongside alongside Dubu. So in this situation, Nightmare Torrent, it's not bad. Definitely, I prefer the Disruption Torrent, but even still, I mean, you get that.
Shout out to
Those,
those band.
yeah, but you even get like 1 or 2 early kills, and then suddenly you're going to have X mark, and that's going to set up so many more opportunities. The problem is, you don't, while you're roaming, wherever your supports are, you're really good, but then you leave so much vulnerability on the other lanes. You have the Ember Spirit who can actually be clowned on by the Clockwork. You have this Tinker who can do absolutely nothing in this mid lane. It doesn't help that they've committed 3 heroes to zoning him out.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost worth it, right? Like, the big change to Tinker is that he can't kill Ancients anymore, and he will have these stacks to go for, but we saw heavy wards when Pokerface was invading that jungle. They blocked out the big camp in the middle of the Radiant jungle. They blocked through the medium pull-through camp. So none of those will be stacked up by the supports. There's also no pull-through potential for the supports, so maybe hurts their levels. And if they're going to put 2 people in the mid lane or even just leave the Razor there, it's going to be really hard for Raji as he finds himself in still the 1 role, but in a new lane. So he changes the scenery up a little bit once again. I mean, we found him in the safe lane, we found him in the off lane, and now we find him here in the mid lane playing the 1 role every single time.
Yeah, interesting thing just happened there. Nuts made actually a critical error here by not scouting if the pull or the secondary pull was blocked off when he made that pull. But they killed off 1 neutral creep, and then somehow the aggro made it so the creeps went back. If they hadn't done that, 2 waves would be stacking up at the exact same time, and Clockwork would get a ton of experience as a result. But as it stands, although he is blocking pretty well, he's not using his cogs, and although the creep wave does get built up a little bit, it's not nearly as much as it would have been. And with some good denies from Jubei, he might be able to get the creep equilibrium back under control.
Yeah, I swear, dude. Like, as much as you practice it, the pull through on the camps, like, sometimes creeps are just gonna creep, and like they do the most ridiculous things, and you're just like, what? Like, in what world does this actually happen? And what to get too? Like, double hill troll, berserker, and priest. Like, I would be so. I'm mad, and I'm casting this game. I would be so mad if I was playing it.
New troll here, just spamming that out because yeah, they're just pumping these axe throwers and. Yeah, it's just going to be actually clearing out this entire wave here. So it is very awkward, but yeah, in the end, although the supports won't get really any experience from the pulls, they are going to be denying it to Clockwork, which is pretty important. Febby is pretty important to their plan. Getting level 6 on him is going to be enabling them to start roaming about, start actually getting those picks. By themselves, The Storm Spirit isn't going to be able to do that much, but MP is, as we mentioned, going to have a really good time of it. Hasn't actually spent gold towards Soul Ring despite having the early recipe. Shows his intentions there, but he goes for the boots first. So obviously he's not using much mana here, just CSing. But obviously his intentions are for that Soul Ring. Now he picks it up, and we'll have to see if he goes for the Orchid or the Bloodstone. I think the Orchid has a lot of merit to it, but I don't know. Well,
I think I'll go Orchid. It's just the Bloodstone for a little bit more mana usage early on. I mean, mana is life, so it doesn't matter that you lose your HP. It's as long as you can ball lightning a little bit further with that Soul Ring. But something I'd like to point out, I didn't notice it in Febby's other Clockwork game, but here he was using the trick where you, let me find the actual path. Yeah, here you go, where you put the cogs here and you route the creep in, and you get the wave at your tower. So he was actually using that this time. That gets him up to level 3 at just under 4 minutes, where now he'll rotate and look for the rune, where he was doing a lot of that in the previous game, but he'll have to give it up. He finds Dubu there, ready to Nightmare, and, well, you never really know where Kunkka is, and it turns out Nuts is also there. They'll find the bounty. Up top, it was the invisibility. That's going to go towards Razor here, so now can't be ganking the Razor for the next, well, like 2 minutes and 45 seconds at maximum. I don't even know if they were going to have any plans to go towards the mid lane anyways.
And you see the ping on the map, the smoke came through from the Roche pit, and it was definitely scouted by the Dire side. But it's interesting because they're actually using this gank path that was opened up with the terrain changes here, where you can actually go all the way to in front of the tier 1 tower of the Dire, and the smoke won't break until this exact spot. So you can get a really good flank to gank onto an enemy like the Clockwork, but in this case, he's bringing the fight to them. They've got level 3 Clockwork versus a level 3 Bane and a level 2 Kunkka, and although they will get the Torrent off, the reinforcements are here.
Yeah, Nuts might just be making that sacrificial play. Actually, Dubu's not too safe either. There's an invisible Razor chasing him. He's taking away 30 damage, but it's got to be Nuts that's the first to die. So we're going to go back over there. A defensive Torrent puts up Febby once more, but JU will back off. Dubu's going to be okay, even though he hits for like 5 right now. But that's the first blood, and who did it actually go to? It was Split, of course.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Still a nice sum of gold going their way as a whole.
Oh, Jubei.
Under the tower.
That's an easy kill, and I think he'll be fine to get out of it. Flame Guard not going to mitigate any of the tower damage, but 3 armor, poor man's shield. He'll be okay against the tower. He's got some tangos left, and he is level 6, so we can always just remnant, go back to base, and come back to it.
Yeah. And, yeah, with those remnants up, you can also be very, very active with the Magical Burst nuke. I mean, this is still only a level 3 Clockwork, so with a Magic Stick with a Stout Shield, you can tank up some, but you get one hero on top of that. You get the Searing Chains into a Torrent or something, and you found another easy kill. So a lot of momentum there. Nuts will look to stack up in his jungle. They really want to emphasize these stacks as best they can, because they do have some great heroes to clear it out, mostly the Tinker. But we do see actually the Ogre Magi will be nightmared up here, and they are going to look for a combo, though he is woken up by the Ancient Apparition.
Yeah, that was a good play there by Sky, and now the tanky Ogre. I mean, so much HP regen, 3.4 second. I don't think they get it. Jubei, though, will find Febby once more. He's still caught up in the cogs, but the Flame Guard is too strong. Clockwork can't bring that down fast enough. And now 48-85 still here, going to be chased away by Nuts, Dubu, and Jubei. There's the X mark, the Ghost X mark at that, and it should be bringing him down. I mean, he's making space, that's for sure. He's got 3 people chasing him, and it's been for a while, but it does result in both of those heroes going down. Jubei getting 1 kill, getting experience for the other. He's been involved in all 3 kills for MVP.Hot6 right now on that Ember Spirit. So off to a really, really good start here. And so is actually MP. We might see him go for more. He's 40-17, and he's going for the kill on Sunby. The rotation up from 48-85 is definitely going to secure it, and MP gets that kill. 41-17 on the last hits, and on the board now. He goes Soul Ring, Treads, and Bottle. They'll start working towards the Orchid. I would assume the Orchid now.
Yep. I don't know if you caught it, but the Radiant Courier actually went down to, I believe, neutral creeps. These things are going rogue, man. Oh, the Courier dies near their pole camp. And I don't know. Like, they had the smoke, they had the TP. Obviously, Dubu was trying to get some items out to him, but to have the Courier there, and there were absolutely no heroes nearby, so it had to have been neutrals, or at least...
they were probably, like, being stacked, and they were pissed off, and they will attack anything that goes by.
Yeah, and it's just like, I mean, at this point, the neutral groups have just completely, their AI has gone absolutely insane when it comes to screwing over Hot6 in this early stage of the game. They're still doing really well, though.
Pokerface shouldn't know that, though, right?
It'll say the Radiant Courier died, yeah.
Oh, it still says it?
Yes.
Well, never mind. Pokerface is aware.
This smoke gank that I was
Here's
talking
what you talked about, though.
Oh, the Nightmare is in perfect range if they can just get vision. It is nighttime. There is Febby. But he cancels out of the battery assault initially. And the TP rotation comes in. Even with the Torrent, they're going to be taking some big damage here. And Stormspirit goes right in.
I don't know. They're splitting their focus, though. It doesn't look like it's going to be too much of a struggle to bring down the Bane. But because he goes for the Bane, Jubei's burst damage is extremely strong. He takes down the Storm Spirit. And I was just pointing out his farm, 48 and 19 on the Storm. He was doing very, very well. And to come down and get a kill and then immediately die, it's a bit unfortunate. That puts Juby onto a killing spree right now. And just quickly to cross-reference that with the net worth, yeah, it's the Ember Spirit out front at 4K and 300 gold behind that now because of the death is the Storm Spirit. And then you got your Razor in the middle lane, and Tinker is, you know, he's tinking about. He's not doing too bad. He's got his Soul Ring and more than halfway to the
look at
boots
this
of travel.
travel. He's about to just absolutely explode in net worth. Like, he's going to have BOTs in 2 minutes. It's just absolutely insane how well they've been working for him. Doesn't kill off Puddles with the March because of the change. But everything else is going to die very quickly, and yeah, he's in a good spot for some very fast BOTs, a lot, especially considering the nerfs. But in mid lane, we're going to see the Ember Spirit just jump right on the Razor, and even with the static link, it looks like he's going down. No! The stun from Ogre gives him enough space, gets away from the Flame Guard, which is only 3 points instead of 4, and in the end, the Razor will be able to skedaddle just barely with that actually pretty tanky build. Like, if you went for the phase boots build like you often see in kind of pubs, then you're not going to be able to survive through that. But with the treads, Aquila, a couple of bottle sips, he's perfectly fine to stay up, and obviously the support from Ogre helping him out considerably.
Yep, looking up top is where we find that support combo that, well, they've caused a scene. I don't know if they've done an incredible amount here. There's not a lot of damage between them, just like they can stun with Nightmare and Torrent. So we look at the Bane, the Kunkka, they're up top. They're thinking about maybe disrupting Sky. Clockwork, though, is also up here. They don't know that. They're up there to stop MP on the Storm, but he's about to find everybody. There's a big hook in there from Febby. 2-man in the cogs. The Remnant out. Dubu buys some more time with the Brain Sap, but he will fall, making it 4-4 right now. But the important hero, the Ember Spirit, able to get out of there. Now he wants to go back in. And there you go. They're bringing that aura along, trying to get PK. Can't get the stomp off, and a beautiful cogs placed there by Febby. The Ogre, though, is still going to fall, and Raji's around to soak up some of that golden experience. He's nearby. He actually gets the kill on the Ogre. I think it was the laser that did him in. So now 5-4. Tinker getting 300 gold off of that. The Boots of Travel are done. Bottle's on the ground. He even picks it up to refill an ally's bottle. I'm really surprised that hasn't been patched out of Dota yet, but
it's skill, man. You just gotta have that next level play. It's like tread swapping. You just gotta get that efficiency up in the most unique of ways. But yeah, no, I mean, he'll just be able to bounce around a little bit, do his thing, and yeah, in the end, it's a good recharge strat. Like we were talking about, they can bounce around from base to battlefield very quickly, and they can cause a lot of havoc. Actually, MP in a bit of a rough spot. He does have a lot of mana left on the ball lightning, but Jubei, if he remnanted forward with the phase active, there's a chance he actually could have gotten him. In the end, though, MP makes it safely back to home, and Jubei steals up a couple of neutral creeps from his jungle. The Ancient Apparition is now level 6, second Ice Blast of the game coming out. Gonna maybe connect on bottom, but so far, not really accomplishing too much.
What's it hit? Goes over Bane. Looks like it maybe got the damage on him too. He'll fall back a little bit.
We'll see that more consequential as the Storm and Clockwork start initiating more hardcore. Febby, he kind of went into a fight that was already in their favor. Like the static link was fully going on the Ember Spirit, so they already had the damage advantage. He was just the one to keep them locked in position, and they really didn't need more on top of that. But later on, that Ice Blast will become a very valuable skill. And another thing to mention is Sky is rushing out the Aghanims. Like, he is taking farm priority up on the top lane. MVP is pinging him out like, oh no, he's going Midas. That'll still get him there eventually, but it will. If he was just wanting the Aghanim Scepter, it would have been a bit faster just to rush it out. But yeah, it means he's going to get a lot more than just the Axe. He'll get experience, which can bring his ulti to level 16 that much quicker. Actually, Bane going down on the bottom there as they hook on top of him. But yeah, you get to level 16 faster. You get the Ags, plus you can go for items like Atos or Euls or Force or whatever utility you want to bring.
MP could be in some trouble. They're TPing to the Astral Spirit using that. He tries to shoot the heat-seeking missiles, but they don't land. There's no vision when he shoots them. And Jubei going for the dive on the tower, eats a stun, and will decide to back off, shooting the Remnant. 4 heroes up near the top lane for Pokerface. So I think MVP are sensing this. They see like 2 or 3 of them already. Sky, though, with a smoke up here on the back lines. Ice Blast is available. It's a little harder to hit the closer ones unless all those heroes are already disabled. We'll see what they can do. The Astral Spirit goes out to try to get some of that vision and will once again find the Ogre, finds the Storm, so they know that 2 people are up here. There's the Ice Blast coming in, and it doesn't quite land on Jube. It gets the debuff on him, but it doesn't actually do any of that damage. And like you mentioned, he's just Flame Guarding that, so he's not actually taking any damage from anything. It can't even bring the Flame Guard off. So Jube is fine. He's got Phase. That other item, drums, there it is, Poor Man's Shield, and we're at 14 minutes in, and his decision is Battle Fury or Desolator. I know with the Elder Titan, you like to see the Desolator, but more than likely, we'll probably just see the Battle Fury.
Yeah, pretty common here. They don't really have great clumping mechanisms other than the Earth Splitter, but still, Battle Fury at least increases your farm rate substantially, so even though you'll probably be doing less damage to the natural ordered heroes, you're still going to be getting a lot of value out of that. Okay, Febby wants that haste room bad. He hook shots for it. I don't know if that's worth it, but obviously Jubei can bottle that haste run, and it might have gotten him out of a future gank. So, interesting little pickup there, though it does cost them their 1 minute cooldown on that hook shot. Now, earlier he was actually posturing to bring down the Tinker. If they had Ice Blast plus hook shot on Rodji, then he would be going down, but in this case, Rodji, of course, TP'd to the top lane fight, and Febby had to rotate into an awkward position. So, since the Rune Skirmish about 4 minutes ago, he hasn't really done that much, but, you know, he's still got plenty of room to make his mark on this game as the game progresses. For now, they're happy to kind of delay it, as we can see that Midas is up on the Ancient Apparition. The Storm Spirit could really benefit from finishing that Orchid, so for now, passivity ensues, and that benefits both sides, but I would say Pokerface more so, since they're not ready to rumble just yet. JU in the mid, though.
Yeah, they're going to look for him, and there's some nice synergy right there. That long-range Searing Chains, Sleight of Fist into the Searing Chains. That also sets up the Torrent. A nice ghost ship as Nuts tries to just escape. Going to get the rum up there on Tinker, mitigating some of that damage, giving him that move speed to escape. Same thing with Do, and he's not quite done yet. Him and Sunby are here. Rocket's going to come through. They'll just leave the Ogre Magi to have those nightmares. Twice the nightmares for Ogre, so that's never fun.
If Rocky stayed around a little bit longer, he could have just lasered the Ogre there.
Blink is up. Come down. He wants to get Febby. Can he do it, though? Laser up the hill. Doesn't quite get the vision. And the cogs go out just to be extra safe.
Yeah, passive play for right now. They obviously don't want to give any kills, but I think Tinker definitely could have gotten a kill on that Ogre if they had just gone real quick. And then you would have been 3 versus 1 against the Clockwork, so not that risky, even at low HP. Ew, bottle ×2 here. Rodgi is, I guess, filling up Ember Spirits. He didn't get the rune earlier, so he's like, okay, I'll just pick that up off of you, and every time I go back to the fountain, I can sip, I can fill it, and then I can give it back to you, as he will with this blink.
Yeah, I feel like this is something we never really saw before, because double bottle was never extremely common, but with the changes to, rune spawning top and bottom every 2 minutes, the bottle for other heroes, other lanes are pretty common. The thing is now, Tinker's not very common, so I don't know. I feel like you see Tinker, you're probably going to see this happen more often than not, or at least, you TP in, you pick up someone else's bottle to refill it quickly. We'll see. It's some cheeky plays, I think, is how we can phrase that from Raji and Juby. Maybe something they'd planned out. I would say they'd planned it out. Like, you got Ember,
if Fiend's Grip here, this could be huge. The Fiend's Grip comes out.
There it is, first of the game. Where's the rest of the damage, though? They've got the Torrent. I mean, there's no mana here at all. I guess he had a Soul Ring in a second and 7 wand charges. So he's done just long enough, and Bane will pick up the kill, but now middle lane, it's Raji TPing back in. That'll force the rest of Pokerface off. MVP. It's 7-5 right now. They got the 2 top net worth heroes, well, just barely. The number 1 and Tinker. It's 1,000 gold advantage, though, for Pokerface. Looking at experience, it's about 1,500 for MVP.
Yep, Febby faking a couple hooks, looking for an opportunity. Mid doesn't find it, and they just go back to the farming game. Right now, the Orchid and the Aghanim's for Storm and Ancient Empress, respectively, are the big pickups. A BKB will be coming out for JU's Razor relatively soon. He still needs 1,100 gold for that one in the mid lane.
Oh, sorry. I'm paying attention. MP. He will survive. It's going to be the Tinker that falls first, and now they're Jubei trying to zip in and zap out, well, with fire instead of lightning, I guess, with those remnants. Can't quite do it. He will fall. It's 419 gold that he gives up, split amongst everyone. Looks like maybe the tower pulling the last hit there. Febby does fall, but it's well worth it. Like, killing the Ember and the Tinker there is huge. And we look at the teamfight recap, that's like 3,200 experience, about 1,000 in gold for Pokerface. So that's going to further their gold lead and should, yeah, it does give them the experience lead. And it's all still very, very close. I mean, it's only 1 kill apart here at 18 minutes, as you might expect. So anyone's game, but like you've mentioned, Pokerface just playing passive for the most part. They find a good hook like that, though, they'll go for it. And especially layering up that Ice Blast. I see the chat talking about Ancient Apparitions Midas. Like, decent time on the Ags still, and really good levels up to level 16 with the Midas. So that extra experience, really important there. And pretty key to their, like, triple threat of initiation.
Yeah, it also means that he doesn't have to be, like, farming half this game. Like, he can go ahead, he can buy that Midas now, and he can still, no matter what he does, participating in fights, not participating in fights, he still will have that Aghanim Scepter before the 30-minute mark. So, pretty happy about that, but we will see some damage coming into him as Jubei jumps right on top of him onto the tower, and he will be going down.
Yeah, a little slower of a Remnant, but he'll be able to get it out of there. PKF says hello to a heat-seeking missile. And now suddenly 4 heroes in the middle lane for MVP, going very aggressive, blinking, and then there's the X mark as well. That's hilarious.
Oh, Astral Spirit, he's jumping right to it?
Did he X mark again? Because Nuts can just like stay in the base the entire time and just keep X marking this Tinker. He did, but it looks like, where'd it go? Yeah, it went all the way back to base, so like this Tinker's playing super aggressive and Konka's just sitting in base, supporting. It's not an era from downtown, guys. It's a support from downtown.
Oh my gosh. And he
does it again.
And he's just doing it for bottle refills. Man, this global strat. Like, he's automatically getting a second BOT.
It's 8 seconds.
Every time.
Oh, I can't get the extra blink off there that time.
Yeah, but still, just sieging away. Just going for this long-range damage. A new sniper in town. And Ragi's right on top of the Spirit. This literally gives him the ability to jump in and into the fight as deep as he wants to at absolutely no risk to himself. Because it's not even, like I said, it was a free second BOTs. It's better than that. It's like a free replicant back because you're instant. You don't have to channel anything. Down bottom, the Fiend's Grip does not come out. Oh, that would have been great to pick off MP like that. But even with the Tinker there, we're going to see a quick ball out, and the Bane does not get the opportunity. In fact, Cave will be gone on right here. And doesn't have the Orchid, but still doing a lot of damage. The Brain Sap, though, turns it around.
Oh, and the Fiend's Grip afterwards. Wow, Dubu turns that around. Tinker even gets the kill credit for it. Tinker, though, is back in the base. And, yeah, there is that ward for the Radiant, as you point out, giving that vision for the grip. We'll look over to middle, though. JYU is the one in the trouble. It's, well, Raji that seals the deal. Gets double kills all across the map. And Konka, of course, helping out. There's a hook in here. Into the March, though. This is not a good place for Febby to be. And how fast can the Tinker get back into this? He's going to go to the Spirit again.
He's so dead. They're going to BOT do it.
Yeah, there it is. Febby's got no chance. Dagon, triple kill. One in the bottom lane, one in the middle lane, and then one here at the secret shop. It's just Raji all over this map, and, well, something we've kind of seen before, but this is a super unique strat coming out for MVP.Hot6.
Is this even Dota? Like, this is so dumb. Konka, like, in a pub matchmaking game, he's getting abandoned for what he's doing because he doesn't get any experience, but who needs it? If you have maxed out X mark, you can literally put your Tinker into the battle for up to 8 seconds, pull him back whenever you feel it's appropriate. Like, this is just like a free get out of jail free card.
Blink forward for this one more time.
The Tinker can play literally as aggressive as he wants to. He might as well have 900,000 HP. Like, there's nothing they can do to stop this. Like, maybe when the Aghanim Scepter comes out in the Ancient Apparition, the Ice Blast will be enough to stop him from doing it too frequently. But right now, just go, go, go. Go, go, gadget, lasers. Like, this is...
Oh, nice Ice Blast, though.
As aggressive as you want to get. Febby, if he hooks him, like, usually, like we said in the draft, this is a counter,
Febby's dead.
Like, he just can't. You just can't. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, so guys, we're watching Dota. This is Defense of the Ancients 2. And Konka is sitting in base. He's been level 8, and he probably will never see more than level 8 because at this point he's falling very far behind. However, Tinker is winning the game, and he's going to get another kill here. Raji is probably really, really good at counting to 8. That's all I've got to say.
Counting to 8 what?
8 seconds for the mark.
No, you can pull it back manually early on if you want to.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. But I mean, like, to get the double rearm and really extend the play.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
Not that it matters, because if he screws up, it's not like he's out of mana or like up creek without a paddle, because he's
it's like
not.
4 seconds.
He
It's like, oh,
teleports
I
right
screwed
back
up. I have to wait
to
4 seconds
base.
before I kill everyone.
Jeez. Like, the room for error on this is minimal. Like, there's an 11-second cooldown on X mark. There's an 8-second duration on this ability. You can pull it back manually whenever you feel like. Like, what the f-
This kind of reminds me of like TI3. We look at that the Pudge Wisp game, and like, yeah, that was available to every team, but no one ever did it. And then like it was such a big deal. I feel like it was only a big deal because it looked gimmicky as hell. But they took it out of the
You want to
game.
talk about gimmicky? This is the most absurd.
Yeah, but this
thing.
is like even worse because this is like no
Like,
risk.
okay.
Like the only risk is your Kunkka's at level 8. Other than that, like who really cares? Does Kunkka need more than level 8 as a support? Not really.
He's back. Like, as long as there's a creep wave or an astral spirit, go do whatever the hell you want. Nothing's gonna happen to you. There's, I mean, look, if we get Ogre Magi to level
rape your
11 and you
Tinker.
get 3x multicast, with Ice Blast, like that's the only way you kill him in that duration.
I think we go rape your Tinker right here and just get some attack speed. He cannot die.
I just don't know.
I mean, that's definitely
Ship.
not the answer, but why not? You're
would-
already doing this.
You literally have like a global range Dagon. Look at that!
I can't, guys. I'm locking on Tinker and no
do it.
hints. I
There's
can't keep
nothing
up
else
with
to watch
this.
in this game.
The rest of MVP was pushing bottom and took out that tier 2, but right now it's the Raji show. He's going here on the Razor now. What's his build? He doesn't have the Eth Blade yet. Like once he gets it and then he dodges the ice. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
This team just broke Dota 2.
They really did. I mean, I thought MVP Phoenix had cool strats. Like move aside, Hot6 has got you.
I thought they like had to unveil this in just this. I mean, maybe this is a big match for them. I'm not really sure what kind of.
The context is pretty big. It's like the last team to go to this land with like $20,000+ in growing prize pool. So
It's just this is an incredible strat to give away. So no matter, I would feel like anything short of TI, I'd feel a little bad about giving it up. But yep.
I mean, what do you do to
this
stop
happened.
this though? Fountain dive at
I've
25
like
minutes?
5 times. Like unless you get like a 3x multicast and Ice Blast, he doesn't die in any rational time frame that he's out on the battlefield.
Kunkka's just
You can
chilling.
glimpse. If you get a disruptor, you can draft a glimpse against it. But
This is the easiest Kunkka game of Nuts' life. Like, even if they lose, like, they can't even blame him. Like, what'd you do, Nuts? Like, I just pressed E a lot.
this is
And he
insane.
just torrented nothing. But, alright, this is still going on. Gonna farm some creeps with some Dagons there. What's the Dagon level up to, actually, right now? It is level 5, so when he starts getting the Eth Blade, like, he can almost kill the Razor now. Eth Blade's up, like,
He
game's
does
over. Game's
2
over.
volleys. It takes 2 volleys, but I mean that's a 1 second channel rearm time. I just jeez, and it's all amplified by the natural order if that's involved with
Which
what
it
he's
usually
PhD.
is, since he's TPing to the Spirit.
Yeah, like goodbye.
He's going behind the tier 2 right now. Finds Febby. There's a laser up. Can he get it, though? No, it doesn't quite. So Raji will miss that one. I think we're going to have to look at the rest of the team fight now. I'm going to have to put my hands back on the mouse here. There's a Fiend's Grip. It's actually a double kill for MP, so things can go wrong. He's trying to TP in, and he will TP in. Do they kill him, though? No, because you can't possibly kill him. However, the rest of the team doesn't fare very well. Tinker's going back, and he will actually cancel
Didn't get
that
X.
one.
Yeah.
No
yeah, he had to
X.
cancel because he didn't get X. But now he's X. Now he does that. Like okay.
That was just the
I mean,
ogres.
obviously, it doesn't automatically win them the game. They still have to accomplish a lot on top of that because you know you're just poor 1 second cooldown.
Wow, just getting
Dagon unlimited mana. You know you have your limitations, but honestly, like that's the best thing that Pokerface can do, and they still can't walk away unscathed because of what this Tinker can accomplish.
Yeah, I mean, it still buys a ton of space for Ember. Like, Ember, it's 27 minutes. He's got Phase Drums, Bottle, Battle Fury, which is not a bad time with 1.5k in the bank. Kunkka, obviously, nothing. Bane is still just supporting, playing that 4, I guess, since he's actually moving around on the map. Looking at Elder Titan, he does have a 4-staff Ultimate Orb, so he's progressing, and it's really up to Tinker. And if they actually get any like tower push, that's Ember. So we might even see him go Desolator as his next item here. Maybe BKB into Desolator.
All right, we're seeing initiation. Dubu is definitely going to be going down here, and there's nothing to BOT to right now for the Tinker. He can go to the mid waves, or he can see an Astral Spirit coming, but he's kind of on the run. Yeah, he will go for the Astral Spirit play. Ice Blast is coming out. They knock him back with the Cogs, but at any risk, they just pull him out. They've always got this finger on the trigger to just bail him out at any second. It's just, they'll pick off supports. They'll pick off heroes roaming around randomly. The Storm Spirit's good for that. They're mobile, they're active, they're getting BKBs. Like, they're trying to build up this force, but in the end, like you've mentioned, it's just space creation for Ember. He has the entire map, and if they ever go near a creep wave, they're probably setting themselves up for death.
Yeah, looks like MVP were kind of struggling to get themselves back in a position where, like, the Ember was able to support this, because Pokerface, like, initiated the 5-man, and then they couldn't maneuver 3 heroes, or even what is even left. Yeah, they couldn't get those 3 heroes, like, back into position without getting picked off from the 5-man of Pokerface and MP, of course. But Raji's got no problems even in 5-man going in because he can't die, and he just kills the support. So he's farming off of that while also being around on the map. But now you see MP starting to pick off here, but soon there's always the response from Raji. So I don't know. Dudu is, or Dubu rather, pretty low right now.
Like, and Jube's just going to look to clean it up. Yeah, they get the Astral Spirit, so there will be another BOT in. Don't think this one's X'd, though. Raji, oh no, he is X'd.
It is. It just kind of bugs out and puts it on the ground, even though it goes back to base.
It's okay. That's just the timing. They've obviously practiced this quite a bit, maybe versus bots, where the bots are constantly spamming in chat, I'm out, I'm out, I'm out.
Yeah, bots are pretty informative.
Because honestly, that's what you have to do against this game, is just run for the hills, run for your lives. There is no stopping this, especially now with this draft. Like, there's only a few drafts that can manage against it. Disruptor is definitely a hero that's necessary for it, unless you're looking to invade the base. Maybe Nature's Prophet teleports in. That's it. Ice Frog changed the elevation of Fountain. That's why this is possible. It's because you can't camp the well when they return. I don't know.
I mean, camping the well at 20 minutes is a pretty tall order.
Like, literally, Nuts can go and make a sandwich to give hero control to Tinker, who can just spam this X mark stuff.
Oh my god, I lost Tinker. I gotta just... He's back in base. Shocker. Alright. Sky is trying to run around. Astral Spirit coming in, and you know the Astral Spirit means it's the coming of the Tinker, and it's 26-14 right now. Back to that 10,000 gold lead, about 10,000 experience. They're about to bring down the last outer tier 2. We look to the Elder Titan. He actually does go Crystallis, so I'm wrong. I thought they might want to just get some pure tower push, but they're not too worried about Tinker being able to jump in, pick off 2. By the time they respawn, they can just push up the hill. I guess in that case, it's going to be 4v3. But, well, we'll just have to... I think at this point, we're just locked in for the ride.
Yeah. No, I see Baseskip tweeting out that maybe Quad Yules could be a counter. I remember testing recently whether the Yules effect would negate things like limps, things like X marks the spot. And the problem is, offensive Yules is completely different than defensive Yules. So I honestly don't recall if that would be effective enough. But yeah, at this stage, like, if that doesn't work, then nothing will. I mean, the Omni Knight ban actually makes sense now. Because Omni Knight can actually repel the Tinker and take off the X. So honestly, the Omni Knight ban makes sense. And oh boy, will they get him this time? Will they get him? Oh my gosh, they got the Tinker!
Indeed, they did. It's a lot of gold. Godlike streak, 869 over to JYU, and I'm surprised. Tinker did just buy the Eth Blade, and that's where he gets a little too crazy, going all the way into the tier 4, getting met by the stuns.
He didn't have the X on him in that one, so they might have messed it up. Or maybe the Yules from Clockwork. I don't know. We'll see. But we're seeing Yules come out. Yeah, Ancient Apparition's going for one. Clockwork's going for one. So I'm assuming these guys have tested it out more thoroughly.
They clearly follow Baseskip on Twitter, so...
That's right.
Reported. You can join Kunkka in low priority for looking at Twitter while playing, because Kunkka's... No, never mind. He's getting experience. He's finally left the fountain. He's farming some creeps. 2,000 gold. I don't know. I feel like this guy's going Blink Dagger. Why not? Got him. Got those mud golems.
I don't know, I think you just buy consumables at this point. You just give them to the team. Say, I'm not really involved, but you guys have fun.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, at some point he'll probably want to get involved. I don't know.
Or maybe the Yules is countering it, and if that's the case, then obviously it makes sense for him to do things other than what he's been doing all game long. Maybe they've just been waiting the
Yeah, what's our
30 minutes
count?
for
We got
Pokerface to figure
we
that one
got
out.
two. We got one on Febby. We got one on Sky. So that's the Clockwork and the Ancient Apparition. And even if it doesn't work, at least it buys you some time. 23-second cooldown, and will keep you alive. A little bit longer, at least.
So they're not doing it anymore. So I guess the Yules is the answer, and that answers our question pretty clearly, just by the fact that they've been purchasing and investing so much in them, and the fact that obviously they're, well, they might go for another plays back at the fountain, but that'll be pretty frequent. Yep, doing it again, but just
Yeah,
for fun.
I was about to say the thing was Nuts wasn't in the base, and now he's back. So I think we'll get our answer pretty soon, whether or not Yule stops it.
Either way, for now, Aghanim Scepter being built up on Razor, I guess we'll try to go back into normal casting mode. It's just been
It's gonna be
absolute
tough.
nonsense until this point because, yeah. But, yeah, we see the BKB Orchid up on the Storm Spirit. That is at a 10-second duration, so a fresh one, smoking out. But maybe the Radiant Observer Wards, at the very least, caught them not being in their base. I believe it also caught the smoke, but we'll see. Elder Titan is in a very aggressive position, and it looks like he'll be caught out. The Force Staff, not enough.
And he'll turn around. It might have been enough, but he kind of turned around there. I'm not sure about that. Here comes Tinker. They'll hook. This is the Yules. This is the test. He gets put down. He still
Nope.
goes back. Maybe
Has
they
to
have to
be
chain the
during the
Yules.
pullback, I
They got to
guess.
chain the Yules.
Yeah, I think it has to be during the pullback.
Yeah.
Negate it.
So, like, if you max out the duration, then maybe it works. But here comes Jubei in afterwards. He's got the fuel to keep the party alive. He brings down two more. Elder Titan, the only one to fall a little far out, but I think he's probably saying worth it from the grave. They do come out ahead there, and Tinker's working on some creeps in the bottom lane, trying to get up to the tier 3, where they have got some damage on the bottom tier 3. And we'll look, yeah, middle and top haven't taken much, but the bottom tier 3 maybe about a third.
Man, this is just a wild game. I really, at this point, I mean, obviously Ember Spirit is traditionally the big farmed hero, but Tinker's still doing what Tinker does. Rodney has made this one-man show, at least for a very significant part of the game here.
Hey,
They've seen
hey,
a
don't
way to
forget
kill him.
Nuts. Two-man show.
Dude, he can literally give hero control to somebody, and they can hit E. You can give it to Rodney, and you can make it a one-man show. This is like,
Plot twist,
He's a
Nuts
one
is
button.
doing both, and Raji is eating dinner.
obviously. But trying to jump, a little bit of a miscued initiation, and Sunbeam just walks. Yeah, a little awkward there, and we see more farming.
More farming. I think that's what Ember Spirit likes to hear. That's what he dreams about. He dreams about farming. It's 29-16. What's that advantage up to? A little over 10K, 12K in gold for MVP. Most of that focused on the Tinker. He's at the under 22K net worth. 16K for our Ember Spirit. And look at the Elder Titan trying to get that stomp. There's a chains to catch up JYU. MP, though, is bottom. He's got a BKB. I mean, BKB counters this, right? Like, Tinker can't do anything to you. You can win a fight, but it doesn't stop Tinker from really doing it later, and it will whittle your BKB charges down quickly, but I don't know. It's a bit of an answer. It's an
It is,
expensive
but, like,
Band-Aid.
It's a Band-Aid fix, definitely. JU has used his BKB twice, only for the Tinker to just jump out immediately. So, like, you feel really sad with, like, 8 or 9 seconds left on the BKB charge facing absolutely no heroes.
Not
like,
as
you
sad
use
as
it to
Bane.
survive, but it literally just buys you a few seconds before Tinker comes out, and while your BKB is on cooldown, kills you anyway. Like, at this point, it gives you about 30 seconds of farming. That's what a BKB charge does for you. This game is hard, man. This game is very hard indeed. Raji still doing his own thing. He is buying a BKB of his own. I don't know about that one, since you cannot be X back when you're Magic Immune. That is 100%. I know that one at least.
Well, maybe he doesn't, but you think they would have done the research 100%
No,
on this?
they know this back and forth. I guess he'll just time it so that when he is caught in a situation where he is forced
All
to
right.
fight.
I've got the answer.
Hmm.
This is what we need to do. We need to get a blink. I probably don't need a blink dagger on Storm Spirit because he's got ball lightning, but he needs to maybe get a Shadow Blade or something, some invisibility. He just he posts up right here. He drops a ward here. Could be hard to do since Nuts is always watching, but Tinker is dropping his items for efficiency in the fountains. Jump in, take the items, jump out, and then you play the game. You can farm for another 20 minutes. That's it. Steal the items.
It works when there's no plateau elevation, but with the plateau elevation.
Oh yeah, the wars don't even freaking work. Okay, well I don't know, man. All right, now you've lost. I guess you've
Yeah.
lost.
perhaps.
You could go blind with a Yule Scepter, and then just like put the Tinker up and then grab the items.
I don't know, man. It's hard. I think you gotta like get clear vision with your static remnant in their fountain, and then orchid.
Oh yeah, of course, dude. Storm can do it perfectly. He just drops the remnant right here.
Oh, going in.
Sunbee's in some trouble. I suppose will miss. He's actually still alive. NP
Double
though.
damage,
MP
Invis,
rather. Zips
double
forward.
damage Invis Ember Spirit with crit and Battle Fury. Good luck, friends.
Uh-oh. Someone's dying. It might just be creeps.
Aw, really? Not a single one? Just the creeps. No, come on. You gotta get a kill with this.
No
Looks
one's
like he
built
will
a,
find.
I feel like everyone on MVP should just have... Bane should have a Necro. Like, it's a pretty decent item for Bane anyways, and then it's just another thing to TP towards.
Yeah.
Bane's here, though. Did he have... He has a Blink Dagger, so he could easily... Yeah, there it is. The Fiend's Grip. They just saw the Nature's Prophet. The Nature's Prophet? What is wrong with me? The Storm Spirit TP out. So they thought they can go for it here, and Raji goes in with that BKB, but like you said, it stops the X. He's finding that out now.
No, Nuts wasn't in the fountain.
Oh, Nuts wasn't in the fountain. Just kidding. He'll find it out later. Maybe he already knows. He's down for 90 seconds. The boat, though, is coming down. There's Nuts. He looks to get involved, and his bad luck. It goes horribly wrong.
Awkward, yeah. I mean, after all this dominance, they'd actually really screw up that fight. I mean, the Elder Titan wasn't involved at all, of course, so it was a 4v5. The Tinker's initial BOT was canceled out by a creep death. So yeah, nothing really goes the way they wanted it to, and it's 2,600 gold swing in favor of Pokerface. They're gradually nudging their way back into this one, and yeah, one obvious aspect of it is Pokerface are a lot better suited to deal with this when they're inside their own base. Like when you're out underneath your tier 1 or in that general area, you're just a dead man walking for this Tinker. But now that you're all the way back next to your fountain, you've got Yules, Blade Mails, stuff like that, it is actually okay for you to move out and farm a little bit here and there, and they can nudge their way back in, but I'm still not seeing a win condition here. Like you make your way, you kill off the Tinker, you just claw your way back into this, and then you're met at the high ground with an Ember Spirit that's farmed as all get out, and an Elder Titan. Like, even when you take everything away from MVP, if they make a mistake, they get a loss, a death, it still doesn't give you the opening you need to really, like, actually take a Rax.
Yeah, this game of what is maybe Dota 2 has a pretty awkward outcome, I think, regardless of who wins. It does look likely to be MVP. I mean, their graphs, they falter a little bit. They were 12k gold, 11k experience. They're dropping, but there's a Fiend's Grip out onto MP.
Nice.
Hook to cancel now. A Yule Scepter. He's going to be dropped right into the torn. It kind of misses. There's the stomp. Raji's here. BKB up for MP as he tries to get away. He zip zaps. Someone's actually X'd. I think it was the Storm, but he BKB'd, and then he just ball lightninged way out of there. It's the Clockwork that falls. Only hero to die in that exchange. Meanwhile, JU finds some free farming up top, but Ember Spirit now in the middle lane going in on the Ogre. Will get multicast, but he'll jaunt out. So how annoying is that? You got the jaunt out from Ember, the X out from Tinker. I don't know. They've killed Bane a lot, so at least they can, they've given Bane a nightmare.
Yeah, I could just imagine like a League of Legends player does the first time viewing Dota 2, and like, and
They're like,
the way we look at the Summoner skill Flash, it's like, oh, everybody can just jump out because of this one little ability. You get a single second to cast a spell, and suddenly you can just blink away. Well, that's kind of what we're looking at with this super cheese strat. The Fire Remnant, the BOTs, the X-Spark, all these mechanics, which individually are just like, they work well with a hero's kit, like just to give them mobility and allow them to jump through. All in the same team, it just looks like complete shenanigans.
It is pretty much shenanigans, but bringing it down to earth, I guess, is Elder Titan. Picks up a Sheep Stick, which is just a really strong item towards the late game. So a little bit more potential now if they just have to force it 5-on-5. Because we do see Nuts outside of the fountain right now. The Nuts are exposed.
Ouch.
That's what we're going with. I don't know, dude. It's so hard not to make ridiculous puns. Like, this guy named himself Nuts.
Yeah, I know. I don't think I think you're warranted on that one.
All right, thank you. I don't want to cross a boundary.
But yeah, we've got Scotty up on Ember Spirit. He needed either a Manta or a Scotty to survive through the Storm initiation, and this is going to be a good answer as far as distributing that debuff as well. Anybody hits with Sleight of Fist will be afflicted by the slow, and that's always annoying. But we'll see beyond that, so you can get some more action. They were smoked up. They were looking for an opportunity. Raji waiting in the fountain for his opportunity to strike. He's down to a 9-second BKB, nullifies the Clockwork's Blade Mail, and makes it so it's harder for Storm to move on him. And he's actually going to BOT to the Siege Creep down bottom. So they're looking for the opening. If they got the Hex on Storm Spirit, that would have been huge. But he just balls a little bit too far, and he is going to survive.
Surprised Tinker didn't go for Hex over this BKB that we already kind of questioned. He'll stash it up. He'll switch it out for the bottle, so he's being very efficient with that. I'm still going back to the item stealing strategy from Storm, but I don't think Storm is going to get on board with that plan.
I don't know.
No Ags, by the way, for Sky. You had to go for that Yule Scepter.
Yule's is obviously helpful, but it's a little awkward. I guess, yeah, the one aspect is even if you aren't using the Tinker, you can use yourself. And for the part of that 8-second X, you can just take yourself out as a target.
Or Yule's Tinker and kill other people. And here we go. There's a big team fight. The Bane drops again. Not surprisingly, Jubei, though, is very, very low. He'll be able to just remnant out. The Ogre falls. The Storm now falling. Nuts in the fight. Febby got thrown up into the air with that Cyclone, but it's a full team wipe. It's an ultra kill now, and it's Jubei that barely lives. 2,400 now in the bank after that. The team fight recap. It is about a 6,000 experience, 1,000 gold change there for the team already in the lead. And buyback on Razor. There is a buyback on MP's Storm Spirit. So this is probably the potential to get a lane of racks right now for MVP. It's the shenanigans strat.
Look over here. This is Elder Titan's playground right now. This is, I mean, you get stomps, you get Earth Splitters, you can do whatever the hell you want in that choke point. We've seen so many different games in that area. Elder Titan can do so much work. Now they get the Hex on Razor. They almost bring JU down immediately. They X him back, E-Blade, but he's still alive, and Rocky's gonna fall.
Oh, can they get MP though? Jubei, why are you running, Jubei? You're so strong, and everyone just bought back. Just kill the guy, and he does. Double kill there. Now down for 100 seconds. They do not get what they came for, though. Forced to sort of deal with the heroes that bought back and respawn. I don't know. It's an Ogre, and like everyone bought back and died already. Why doesn't he just go kill them? Waiting on cooldowns, I suppose. There he goes. We'll dodge the Ice Blast. The Yule Scepter going to keep him up for a little while longer. Now Febby stuck with the Fiend's Grip, but the Yule Scepter is everywhere, making it very, very hard for Dubu to do his job, and then he just starts running into Cogs. Another Yule Scepter up, this one defensively. Jubei thinking about going in on it. Will go in. The hook goes out onto Dubu. Now the multicast 1, make it 2. That's the Ignite, but, well, it was the Nightmare to hold him in place. And now the Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains. It's another double kill here for Jubei. 42-24 at 46 minutes. Jubei looking for more. Tinker, he was the space creator right now. Ember Spirit looking to clean up all the kills. Scotty, Battle Fury, Daedalus, and even a Blink Dagger right now with 3,000 in the bank. So everyone dead. No buyback for 30. Surely this is a middle lane of racks.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like, it's the farmed Ember Spirit. They've created so much space, bought so much time. I mean, Pokerface took so long to find an answer to the Tinker that in the end they're faced with a completely different type of hero that does completely different sources of damage, and they just don't have an answer for it. Like, you can find an answer for the Tinker, or you can find an answer for the Ember Spirit. You cannot find an answer for both, and Jubei not going down in that last fight was the big deal there. He actually fire remnanted away from the last fatal blow. The auto attack that Razor would have dropped on him would have killed him, but instead he lives, he stays alive, he keeps fighting, and Ragi jumps in front line.
There's the BKB, and he'll get X back. Not to base, though, just like 10 feet backwards. Force F out from Sunby, keeps him alive. Jubei, though, goes in. They're stunning him up. He's silenced. Is he able to jump? That was a Sleight of Fist. He will be down 100 seconds. He can buy back, and he will buy back, and he's already back into the fight. He's met with an Earth Splitter. That was his allies, though, thrown down right before he died. Jubei on the buyback looking for all the cleanup here. Ancient Apparition has one. Raji able to boot to travel back to base. And let's see, Ancient Apparition's alive, but doesn't even have his ultimate, so is actually just useless. This is an ice cream cone that has taken to floating around.
Melting, man. He's up against the Ember Spirit. What do you
expect?
expect?
It's dangerous, man. Put an ice cream cone in a furnace right now, and even laser beams. Heat-seeking missiles. You think Ancient Apparition could dodge those, but it's not the case. I think this game proves that Dota doesn't make sense.
Oh, I mean, this was the game that tipped you off?
Yeah, this was it, dude. Until this point, I was like, Dota totally makes sense.
Rocky,
Raji's gonna die. He's got buyback, though.
E-Blade doesn't give you Ethereal anymore, man.
You have to cast it on yourself, or not? Just don't go in the fountain, maybe.
I think not going in the fountain is maybe the right call there.
And he had so much fun in his fountain. He just wanted to try out the enemies.
Yeah, I was like, this regens, right? You used to be able to kill this thing. Let's try that.
The ultimate BM would be to literally BOT on an Astral Spirit into the enemy fountain and then get X back, just corner to corner across the map.
Would be good. Well, that's the middle lane of Rack, so that's definitely securing things a little bit more for MVP. But, I mean, overall, as weird as this strat is, it's been pretty solid. Like, not a big answer. They've killed Tinker, like, a couple times.
Yeah. They finally have at least gotten some kills on him. At least they didn't go into like a 18-0 game. They feel like they've accomplished something here. They've learned a life lesson. They can take something away from this game. But in the end, it didn't work out the way they wanted it to. Storm didn't have time to build momentum because they were all constantly huddling in fear. The Ancient Apparition, I mean, he got a Midas at what, like 15 minutes, maybe earlier, and
yeah.
he still
I mean, they
doesn't
gave him a
have
lot of
Axe at
farm in
48.
that top lane.
Like, how is that possible that you don't have Aghanims here? I mean, obviously...
He had to go Yules and Casual Cloak.
He went to Yules and he died 9 times. I mean, those factors do...
Did he have a choice, though, really?
I'm not saying he fed 9 times. It just died. Unfortunately, Dota 2... Sometimes...
No mercy.
It's win or you feed. And in this situation, nobody is immune to the Tinker and Ember Spirit's effects.
Pretty much. The Yules had definitely helped mitigate it a little bit. I mean, that item's just freaking annoying as far as items go. But it just delays the inevitable. Like, we've seen quite a few team wipes back-to-back. A lot of buybacks in the last couple of minutes. It's 20,000 gold for MVP right now. 14,000 on a very, very flat line there. A bit of a plateau at 14K on experience. MVP leading in that category as well. As Raji's back to his old tricks.
Because why not? No, Nuts abandons him. He's like, nope, we're done with this. I have AFK'd too long. I'm going to earn my fantasy points.
He did go Blink, and I felt he would go Blink, and I was right.
The Kunkka or the Ember
The
Spirit?
Kunkka.
Oh, yeah, he went Blink a long time ago, honestly.
Yeah,
that was like the first thing he picked up
notice.
out of the fountain. But, yeah, I mean, why not go for... You already have this strat where you jump all over the map constantly.
Might as well
Why not
jump
go
some more.
4 Blink Daggers on top of it. Like, the only one is the Elder Titan who has a 4 staff. Get it together, man.
Seriously. Think about the potential of the 5-man Blink mobile strat.
He doesn't play enough ARDM, realizing Blink's the best item in the game on everyone.
Or Dota in general. I honestly don't not build Blink Dagger. I don't even care who I'm playing. I'm like, yep, Blink Dagger.
Medusa.
Yep, Blink Dagger.
Stone
Dude.
Gate.
All right, here we go. Raji in trouble up top. The Ice Blast actually going to land, but he did BKB, so not taking any damage from that. The debuff, though, is still applied, but it doesn't matter. Like, Pokerface is just getting punched in the face repeatedly. 3 heroes in the top lane are going to die. Meanwhile, Ember all the way in the bottom lane here. And now he's got Boots of Travel, Remnants, and everything, along with the X-Mark, all those tricks, and a Blink Dagger. He's just tanking up the Tier 3 tower. He'll bring it down. Meanwhile, up top, we got Bane, Kunkka, Elder, Titan, the supporting utility cast there working on that tower. Elder, Titan, and getting distracted by the celebrities right now, having a bit of a dive, but I don't know how much it matters. Only the Rays are alive right now, and maybe not even for that much longer. Is Tinker coming in onto this Astral Spirit? I don't know. Nuts isn't in the fountain, so probably not. And they'll transition top. Raji goes back to the bottom lane. There's the Fortify. And, well, this should be the good something. I'm not sure if it was a game, but it was good.
Yeah, this was just absolutely wild. This is unlike any Dota game you will ever see, period. But, yeah, in the end, it's a nice pocket strat from Hot6. I expect one of those 2 heroes to be banned out next draft. Bottom line, like, there's no reason to play against it at all. Like, I'm sure there is a way to answer it other than Disruptor or Omni Knight, or maybe just you find one of those, but in the end, I have to say, just ban it. There's no reason
Yeah, I was about
to
to say,
go
even if you get an Omni Knight, are you sure you still want to have to deal with this again? Like, it sounds awful.
Good game, well played indeed. Sky calls it. It's been a long time, but 52-28. Why the hell not?
Yeah,
and on the
so-
winning team, I want to see Kunkka's fantasy points. I want to see how little he contributed to this game as far as the actual numbers go.
Too bad you don't get any healing for just sitting in Fountain, otherwise it'd be ridiculous. Let's see. Where's my screen? Nets. Nuts. 5.2. I mean, that ain't bad. I think Bane had 5.8.
Yeah, it's a support, so that they cut him some slack. But meanwhile, Tinker's rocking 12.6. He just 29, 5, and 12 ends the game full 6 slots. I mean, it could have maybe gone Shivas instead of one of his items, but like it doesn't matter. Just had to have a lot of fun in that game. You could just imagine, other than his wrist might be hurting, but his brain was having a really good time of it.
Indeed. Well, at least he didn't build a Bloodstone. That's like the only thing that could have stopped him mismicroing a Bloodstone, as we have seen that in the past. But let's not forget, this is a best of 5. This was game 3, so MVP with a 2-1 lead right now. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I'm Helium. If you liked it, let me know. You can find me on Twitter at Heliumbrella, Blaze here at Blaze Casting, and we'll be back for game number 4, match point for MVP here in the MPGL Wildcard Semifinals. Back in a moment.